Unseasonably pleasant weather in store for the weekend. Meteorologist Gary Canalti has what we can expect for the next few days.
Also, a water search crew has been called in to help locate a missing Verona man. We'll tell you where they're looking.
And we are following the latest developments in a brutal attack of Nancy Pelosi's husband. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. Well, on this Friday, we want to start with a look at your certified most accurate weekend forecast. The Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joins us on the weather patio. He's got his sunscreen on, and he's ready. It's going to be a nice one, Gary.
It should be. Temperatures will be on the mild side, probably about 10 degrees above normal, and right now we're not looking at any precipitation. Let's start out by taking a look at the live view from the WISC Skycam. That's looking out toward the west. Brilliant sunshine there. The Platteville Queen Bee Radio Skycam showing pretty much the same story. No clouds overhead and not a drop of rain anywhere across the upper Midwest. So looking very promising for a quiet and dry weekend. Current temperatures pretty comfortable. A little cooler closer to Lake Michigan, Milwaukee, 52 degrees, but Madison's 58. Now to the west, temperatures are a couple degrees milder. Janesville to the south, 61 degrees, 63 right now in Lone Rock and across Dane County. Temperatures ranging from 58 in Sun Prairie to 60 in Cross Plains and 58 up in Sauk City. Look for skies to remain mostly clear this evening. Temperatures will drop off into the lower 40s by late evening, but we'll see plenty of sunshine for tomorrow and a mild weekend. I'll have more on that and the holiday forecast for Halloween in just a few minutes.
All right, Gary, thank you. Early in-person absentee voting is underway in Wisconsin.
And city officials and other Madison leaders gathered this morning to urge people to vote early in order to avoid long lines and other possible unexpected events on Election Day. Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway joined representatives from the League of Women Voters, the NAACP, and others outside the Madison Municipal Building to emphasize the importance of making sure voters' voices are heard.
You should vote early because it's easy. You should vote early because it's convenient. You should vote early because it's secure. You should vote early because who knows what is going to happen between now and Election Day in your life that might keep you from going to the polls.
City of Madison has dozens of early voting locations with dates and times varying by locations, and there is a complete list. You can find it at channel3000.com. And if you haven't already registered to vote online, you'll need to do it now in person.
Naomi Coles catches us up on how the City of Madison is preparing.
It's also past the recommended point to request your absentee ballot through the mail if you haven't already. And if you have your absentee, clerks recommend that you mail it before this coming Monday. Now, as Election Day draws closer, I spoke with Madison's deputy city clerk about past threats to election workers and if they're a concern this cycle. He said so far it's been relatively calm heading into November 8th, but while there's been no direct threats, there has been some bumps in the road.
Our office have received some colorful responses from folks who I have issues with ballot drop boxes that we're obviously not using this election because they're not allowed, but they've asked if they could forcibly remove them themselves, and we've told them no, that is government property, you should leave that alone.
Stand by.
Our full conversation airs Sunday after Face the Nation. That's as we catch up on where early voting is at and what the city has left to do before Election Day.
Naomi, thank you. With a week and a half to go now until Election Day, candidates have shifted from trying to win over new supporters to making sure the ones they already have won over will actually make it to the voting booth. U.S. Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg, a popular Democratic surrogate making stops for Democrats across the country, was in Madison this morning. He was here to campaign for U.S. Senate candidate Mandela Barnes, joined by Madison's mayor and Senator Tammy Baldwin.
This is going to be a barn burner. There's a reason people from all around the country are watching Wisconsin to see what's going to happen in this state that has been the tipping point state again and again and again because it is so close. And it is going to come down to whether people who might vote but haven't voted yet early actually get out there and do it. If everybody who might vote votes, we're gonna have a lot to celebrate.
Now on the Republican side, incumbent Republican Senator Ron Johnson and other GOP hopefuls are touring the state in a bus dubbed the Take Back the Country Tour. Senator Johnson was joined at a stop in Milwaukee by 1st District Congressman Brian Stile and Ronna McDaniel, the chair of the Republican National Committee. McDaniel urging Republicans to talk to everyone they know and pass along one message.
Republicans have a plan. And we're going to make sure that we fight for every single family. And we're going to fight for those kids who are left behind. And we're going to shut our border. And we're going to stop this nonsense nonsense with this crime and this fentanyl, and we are going to restore common sense to the United States of America.
Senator Johnson urged his supporters to do more than what they did 2 years ago and get more of their friends and family members out to the polls. Senator Johnson in that tight race with Lieutenant Governor Barnes, and tomorrow Barnes will get the support from the biggest name the Democrats have to offer. That would be former President Barack Obama, who has picked only a few races to focus on, states where he feels like he can make a difference. And that includes a trip to Milwaukee Saturday to campaign with Mandela Barnes.
In other news tonight, an intensive search is underway in Verona at this hour, looking for a man missing since Monday night. Police dogs tracked 51-year-old John Ramseer to Fireman's Park from his nearby home near Melody Circle, where he left his phone. Volunteers started searching around noon at Fireman's Park, where there is a large pond, and now a search boat from the Black Earth Fire Department has joined the search. Friends of the family say he was an avid hiker and walker, but it's not like him to be out of touch this long. Also in Verona, police say they have arrested a 58-year-old man on tentative charges of keeping a place of prostitution. Verona officers and the Wisconsin Department of Criminal Investigation executed a search warrant at a home on Lucille Street yesterday and say they also arrested two other people, a 25-year-old man and a 25-year-old woman, on outstanding warrants after the search.
A little more than 2 weeks after naming an independent police monitor, only to see that pick back out of the job, the Madison Police Civilian Oversight Board has made another choice for the role. Robert Copley has been named to that role. He has a law degree from Marquette and has previously worked as the Milwaukee Police Department's open records legal advisor and a paralegal for the Milwaukee Fire and Police Commission. Now, if approved by the City Council, he will be paid $122,000 a year. Well, it is not back to the drawing board necessarily, but the Dane County Jail project is again locked up in debate.
Supervisors made some progress this spring to build a new jail, but this fall they're fighting over two new amendments to plans for 2023. Tahlil Modine took a look at those two proposals, and she joins us now to explain. Tahlil?
The Dane County board members I spoke with tell me their goals are the same: make the Dane County Jail more humane. Where they differ, though, is how to make that happen. County Board Chair Patrick Miles' proposal would again redesign plans for the new jail and reduce the number of floors to just 5. That's 2 fewer floors than the sheriff's original proposal and 1 fewer than the board approved in March. Public Protection Committee Chair Rochelle Andre supports the proposal for a smaller jail, but other board members don't.
So in March, we thought we knew how much the project would cost. We were wrong. We also are faced with a new county board that has some reinvigorated priorities around justice reform initiatives.
If that amendment were to pass, we would be looking at having to go find more money for an even smaller project that is even more delayed.
District 3 Supervisor Annalise Eicher has her own solution. Hers would maintain the plans for a 6-story jail with 825 beds. The plan would seek to move around more than $13 million from elsewhere in the county budget. Tonight at 6, we'll share more specifics on where that money would come from and what's next for the two proposals.
Tahlil, thank you. The husband of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was violently assaulted in the family's San Francisco home. 82-year-old Paul Pelosi is expected to recover from the attack as investigators search for a motive. Michael George with the story.
A hammer-wielding intruder broke into the home of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi early Friday morning, brutally assaulting her husband, Paul. A source tells CBS News the attacker was shouting, "Where is Nancy?"
Our officers observed Mr. Pelosi and the suspect both holding a hammer. The suspect pulled the hammer away from Mr. Pelosi and violently assaulted him with it.
Sources told the Associated Press Paul Pelosi was severely beaten with the hammer, causing blunt force trauma to the head and body. He's being treated for injuries including bruising and severe swelling, but is expected to make a full recovery. Police say the suspect, now in custody, was also taken to the hospital.
The suspect has been identified as 42-year-old David DePepe. Mr. DePepe will be booked at the San Francisco County Jail on the following charges: attempted homicide, assault with a deadly weapon, elder abuse, burglary, and several other additional felonies.
Investigators are trying to determine whether the attack was politically motivated. The Democratic Speaker, who's the second in the line of succession to the presidency, was in Washington when the attack happened. The break-in is raising questions about the safety of not only members of Congress, but also their families, during a time when threats to lawmakers are at an all-time high. Paul Pelosi is an investor and lives mainly on the West Coast, but often joins the Speaker for formal events. The White House says President Biden called the Speaker to offer his support and said he condemns all violence. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
A law enforcement source confirmed the suspect had planned to tie up Paul Pelosi and wait for Speaker Pelosi to return home.
Billionaire Elon Musk is taking control of Twitter at the end of a months-long legal battle with the social media giant. After carrying a sink into Twitter's San Francisco headquarters, Musk began firing people, reportedly ousting several top executives. In a tweet, the Tesla and SpaceX CEO added Chief Twit to his list of titles. Now the big question is, how will the world's richest man work to reshape the social media giant?
If what he's talking about is getting rid of all content moderation, that is not going to be a forum for discourse, for persuasion, for actual give and take. That is going to be the hellscape that he described in his email to advertisers yesterday.
Musk tweeted he'll be forming a content moderation council with widely diverse viewpoints, saying that no major content decisions or account reinstatements will happen before the council convenes.
Coming up, a good weekend to get outdoors. Gary has his complete and very nice weekend forecast next.
And a rock and roll original passes away at the age of 87. A look back at the life and career of Jerry Lee Lewis ahead at 5. Then coming up at 6, it's Halloween weekend, how the Madison Police Department is planning on patrolling State Street another year without Freak Fest.
The Dow is closing in on its best October ever, up more than 828.5 points today. The Nasdaq adds 310, S&P jumps 94. We'll be right back.
Black November starts now at Ashley. For a limited time, save 55% on Beauty Rest Select Hybrid mattresses and receive a comforter, 2 pillows, and a 4-piece sheet set for free. And get 60 months special financing with no money down. Happening now only at Ashley.
Hi, I'm Susan. I'm from Wisconsin, and I am a Republican. Tim Michels is way too extreme for Wisconsin, and that is a huge concern in the state. Another consideration for Tim Michels is that he would overturn Wisconsin's vote in the 2020 election. That is another mark against Tim Michels. I think he's too extreme for this state.
Remember this? Forecasts are predicting an unreasonably cold and snowy winter. Now's the time to winter-proof your home with USA Insulation. 35% more efficient than traditional insulation. Our foam in your walls keeps the cold air out and your warm air in. It's like putting a coat around your entire home. Call now before winter and get a $500 early bird discount.
USA Insulation.
Jurassic Quest is back and bigger than ever. Celebrate Halloween weekend at Jurassic Quest. Come dressed in your favorite costume for a chance to win a prize. And join us for Trick or Treat. Open now through Sunday in Madison. Buy tickets in advance for best selection at JurassicQuest.com.
Need life insurance? SelectQuote found Jacob, 40, a $500,000 policy for only $19 a month. And SelectQuote found his wife, Wendy, a $500,000 policy for only $17 a month.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
I see your hard work, everything you do to try to make it. But people continue to be left behind. I'm running for Senate to put more money in your pocket. Ron Johnson's had 12 years to make things better. But costs are still rising, and all he's managed to do is write a tax cut for himself. I believe better is possible. I believe hard work can pay off, and I'll never stop fighting until it does. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
Black November starts now at Ashley. For a limited time, take a bonus 20% off your purchase of $19.99 or more at checkout. Plus, get 60 months special financing, no minimum and no money down. Happening now only at Ashley.
The fate of Dane County Jail may be changing again as 2 new amendments are brought forth to the current plan.
We share the pros and cons of each plan for the facility. That's tonight on News 3 Now at 6. As campaign 2022 approaches the finish line, News 3 Now presents a special midterm election preview.
We're spotlighting key races and issues, fact-checking candidates, and hearing the voices of voters in battleground Wisconsin.
Saturday, November 5th at 7 p.m. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Rock and roll pioneer Jerry Lee Lewis, known for his energetic stage performances and a controversial private life, died this morning at his home in Memphis. Bradley Blackburn takes a look back at his life.
Jerry Lee Lewis said Elvis opened the door for him. But few could argue Lewis then kicked the door down, performing into his 80s. Actor Dennis Quaid brought Lewis's fire to the screen in 1989. Fast fingers pounding the piano, working young crowds into a frenzy. No bench required. Lewis was born in Faraday, Louisiana, the cousin of TV evangelist Jimmy Swaggart. He learned to play the piano as a boy. At age 16, he headed to Bible college, planning to be a piano-playing preacher, but was kicked out for playing, quote, the wrong kind of music. His private life often mirrored the chaos he brought to the stage, and his career nearly ended when he married his 13-year-old cousin. She later accused him of physical and mental cruelty that nearly drove her to suicide. Lewis battled drug and alcohol abuse, lost 2 children in tragic accidents, and was married 7 times. In the 60s, he reinvented himself as a country performer, and over the decades teamed up with some of the music industry's greatest stars, including Ray Charles, Little Richard, Chuck Berry, and Fats Domino.
Fats is one of the better piano players I've ever heard, really, and really a real gentleman.
He won 3 Grammys, and in his later years, still attracted an audience.
Do you still kick over the stool?
Yeah, get up and throw it if I have to.
The music legend never missing the chance to give a memorable performance. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Earlier this month, Lewis was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame. According to his Facebook page, he was too ill, unfortunately, to attend the ceremony.
But his longtime friend Chris Christopherson drove down to Memphis to present the award to him in person. Jerry Lee Lewis was 87 years old. Well, 2 superstars who respectively reached the pinnacles of fashion and football are going their separate ways. Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen have announced their divorce. They each posted statements to Instagram this morning saying they had finalized the end of their 13-year marriage. Brady had long expressed a desire to spend more time with Bündchen and his 3 children, but later said he had unfinished business with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's get a look at your certified most accurate forecast, a good one for the weekend. Here's Gary.
Yeah, this is good timing here. 3 things you need to know in the forecast. Look for mild weather with above normal temperatures, not only for this weekend, but all of next week, and even into next weekend as well. As we look at whether or not it'll rain, don't expect any rain. In fact, I've got dry weather all the way through Thursday with some chances for rain toward the end of next week, but right now they're not very high either. But here are the shower chances. Probably Friday would be the best chance, maybe Saturday and Sunday of next weekend. As we look at our Halloween forecast, boy, the trick-or-treaters are going to love it this year. 4 p.m., 63 degrees, mostly sunny skies. That'll help when you're figuring out what costume to wear. 59, mostly clear at 6 p.m. And when trick-or-treating ends around 8 p.m., look for mostly clear skies. Temperature still in the middle 50s. So a very nice-looking Halloween. In fact, if you look at the last 5 years, this by far is going to be the best one. It's been 58 in 2018 and 2020, but we'll beat that by 5 degrees. And notice, no rain. That's been a common theme, although in 2019, it wasn't rain. It was 4 inches of snow, if you remember that one. Everybody was bundling up with a high of only 32 degrees. But take a look at these high temperatures over the next 10 days. Average high temperature goes from 54 down to 49 10 days from now, and every one of those days, those temperatures stays above normal. Notice we drop back to 50 by Monday after next weekend, but that's still a degree above normal because the normal temperatures are falling off faster than the actual temperatures. And the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook taking us through the first third of November, calling for above normal temperatures for much of the eastern two-thirds of the country, only parts of the northwest and southwestern parts of the country expected below normal temperatures. Precipitation expected to be above normal. This is mainly beyond our 10-day forecast. We may get into a little more active weather pattern as we get into, say, the second week of November. But right now, across the country, really, about the only weather system of any significance is this area of showers and thunderstorms across Texas and Oklahoma. But much of the rest of the country dry. Those clouds up to the north really not producing any precipitation. The jet stream coming in from the northwest, so it's not picking up a lot of moisture. We're just high and dry right now. High pressure off to the east. You can see winds out of the south or very light out of the south near the ground, and those temperatures very comfortable in the 50s, some lower 60s out to the west of us. That's what will be in here for tomorrow. Planning your night, mostly clear skies across Dane County. 35 degrees in Edgerton, 36 in Oregon, and 35 in Mount Vernon. Across the rest of southern Wisconsin, 36 in Fond du Lac, 32 in Watertown, 35 in Lone Rock, and 38 degrees in La Crosse. Tomorrow, even better than today. Mostly sunny, a little milder, high temperature up to 63 degrees. 7 to 10 day forecast, temperatures lower 60s on Sunday. More clouds, but no rain. 63 again on Halloween. Then upper 60s to near 70 Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Here come the rain chances toward the end of next week and into next weekend, but about a 1 in 3 chance on any one of those days. Remember to turn the clocks back next weekend, and then temperatures back to around normal by the start of the following week. As we check out first warn traffic right now, we're seeing some problems on the eastbound Beltline. Looks like a lot of those have cleared up. There was an accident around Stoughton Road. Still some delays between John Nolan Drive and Monona Drive. Right now, a 17-minute trip on the eastbound Beltline between University Avenue and the interstate. 15 minutes going back in the westbound direction. I-3990 from the Beltline to Janesville will take you 24 minutes. US 12 Middleton to Sauk City is a 17-minute commute. Downtown to Sun Prairie and East Washington Avenue and US 151 will take you 19 minutes. That's your News 3 Now First Warn traffic.
Gary, thank you. Before we even buy all our Halloween candy, people are saving for Christmas gifts. Why the early start to the shopping season? We'll find out next.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
It was Halloween. My daughter stopped at 3 homes, her girlfriend's house, her teacher's house, and the man that murdered her. He molested her. He put her in a garbage bag. He was going to be released in 2018. Josh called. He was not there for me at all. You want some help to find out what's going on, and he doesn't help. He don't care about the victims. I know Eric Toney does. Eric Toney helped keep that man that murdered my daughter from being released. Eric Toney's always been there for me, and that's the kind of attorney general we need.
Wells Fargo lets you know where you stand with your FICO credit score. What if you knew where you stood with everything? Like your future in-laws.
Hope you like cats.
I hope your parents like me. They're whispering.
The kitties like her.
Can they tell I'm allergic? Tears of joy.
Welcome to the family.
Like knowing where you stand? When it comes to your credit score, you can with Wells Fargo.
For Clinton Anderson, our community is his top priority. He's delivered for middle-class families on the Beloit City Council, and he'll keep fighting to lower costs for us in the Assembly. Jeff Klett's priorities are all wrong. He supports dismantling our public schools, wants to slash community services to give tax breaks to his billionaire backers, and he'll vote with extreme Republicans to enforce Wisconsin's abortion ban, which could send doctors to prison. We can't afford Jeff Klett.
Save big with 11% off everything at Menards. Give any room a fresh look with the beauty and durability of tile from Mohawk. Mohawk features more than 350 ceramic, porcelain, and mosaic glass tiles to fit any decor. All 11% off. Complete your tiling job with professional installation products from Tech. Our selection of mortar and grout make working with any application type or tile size possible. Get 11% off all Tech products now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal, come have a taste of Wisconsin.
America's Dairyland, as in real dairy.
It gives Culver's fresh frozen custard its famous rich and creamy flavor.
Like really rich.
So rich.
Rich and creamy.
And our cook-to-order Butterburgers?
They're topped with, you guessed it,
Wisconsin cheese.
But it's the smiles we put on your face
with every meal made just for you.
That really makes our hearts melt.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Do
Democrats defunded and dispirited our police, creating the worst crime wave in decades. Biden spent us into 40-year high inflation, drove gas prices to record levels, and opened our borders, causing a flood of illegal immigrants and deadly drugs. Mandela Barnes supports all the policies causing you and your family so much pain. He will rubber stamp their liberal agenda. Mandela Barnes sides with radical leftists, not with you.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Christmas comes but once a year, but it feels like the holiday season is arriving earlier than ever.
Yeah, it's not even Halloween yet. All across the country, it's looking like Christmas. Near Los Angeles, this outlet mall tree appeared in early October. In Houston, the bows are already wrapping buildings, and some experts say retailers are responding to consumers who are starting their holiday shopping now, in part due to inflation.
They're afraid that as it gets closer to Christmas, it'll cost just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Another reason you're seeing all those lights and garlands on sale, there is a glut of them this year. Last year, supply chain problems meant holiday stock arrived late, so some stores are now selling 2 Christmases worth of decorations. It is the season. A final check of your First Warn forecast when we come back.
This fall into savings with an affordable, delectable dining set. Whether you're craving farmhouse, rustic, contemporary, cottage, and more. I've got dining and counter heights, storage benches, and tons of configurations.
Get Boss discount!
More than 300 murders just last year. Terror at the Waukesha Christmas Parade. But defund the police radical Mandela Barnes still supports eliminating cash bail, releasing dangerous criminals back into our communities. Barnes says,
reducing prison population is now sexy.
Actually, releasing criminals isn't sexy. It's dangerous. Radical Mandela Barnes won't keep your family safe. Senate Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
DePaco Credit Union members are better together because together members share thank yous, a DePaco-only perk that thanks members in cash. And because you're not just a member, you're also an owner, everyone benefits. How will this year's nearly $3.7 million in thank yous benefit you and your community? Since 2016, DePaco members have shared nearly $24.4 million. We truly are better together. Join the movement where your member ownership pays. Visit your nearest DePaco branch or join online at depaco.com.
This is how it feels to do more with less asthma, thanks to Dupixent. Dupixent is not for sudden breathing problems. It's an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma and can help improve lung function for better breathing in as little as 2 weeks. Dupixent helps prevent asthma attacks and can even reduce or eliminate oral steroids. Imagine that. Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Get help right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Who knows what you can do when you do more with less asthma? Ask your asthma specialist about Dupixent.
A 12-year-old girl can't legally drive a car. At 12, she can't even vote. But if this little girl were tragically raped or a victim of incest and became pregnant, radical Tim Michaels would force her to deliver the baby. He said it's, quote, not unreasonable for the state government to mandate rape victims to give birth. Would it be unreasonable if he were forcing this on you? Let him know on Election Day.
Check out my Playscape 2-piece sectional. The $12.99 price tag makes it great. The 2 colors and 5 decorative pillows makes it greater. The comfy pop-up sleeper with Bobabedic memory foam makes it greater.
Get Boss discount!
Greater.
On this Friday night, we go on the road to meet a high school student who's stepping up and demanding better. The CBS Evening News is now just minutes away.
A flash mob sprung up. This was Times Square today, dancing to the music of Michael Jackson's Thriller and performing some of the moves made famous by the iconic music video. Now, it was staged. This will make you feel old. It was staged to celebrate the 40th anniversary of his Thriller album. It came out in November of '82.
The zombie dance routine featured in the original music video, directed by John Landis, is still globally popular. Flash mobs around the world have been performing the moves for years, including one in Mexico that included 14,000 participants.
I can still hear Vincent Price's voice
I can.
on that music video. Gary, final check of the forecast.
Plenty of sunshine out there right now. There's the live view from the WISC Skycam. Going to be a pretty sunset out in the west. Platteville Queen Bee Radio Skycam, not a cloud in the sky there. Current temperatures cooling off to the east. Temperatures lower 50s, upper 40s near Lake Michigan, but Madison's still at 58, lower 60s to the west. 60 in Boscobel, 63 in Lone Rock across Dane County, 61 Edgerton, 58 in Sun Prairie, and 58 in Waunakee.
All right, so Nora's up next with the CBS Evening News, and we're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. Stay tuned.